All right, welcome to another Space Grand Challenge interview. My name is Henry. I'll be your guide and facilitator. Hope you all humans are doing great out there today. We have a special guest today. Um, I'm just going to ask her, what is your name? What is your current focus in cybersecurity and the space industry? And welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here. I'm Captain Sarah Simon, and I'm a program manager for a satellite communications system called MUOS in the Space Force. And probably the best way that I can describe the satellite constellation, which just means a group of satellites, is to think of it as a 3G cell phone network where the cell towers, rather than being on the ground on Earth, they are in space orbiting as satellites. So the military can use the system with radios to communicate with each other no matter where we are in the world. And then as a program manager, I have a team of brilliant engineers and support contractors who I work with to coordinate projects and products and any strategic initiatives that come up. So my team and I, we stay in close coordination every day. And then our program office provides oversight of operations and then interactions between our space operators and the satellite builder.
Awesome. So, how did you get here? What is kind of your career history, Sarah? And how did you
Sure.
arrive here in space and satellites? Like what?
Yeah, I just hit my 13-year mark time in service.
Thank you for
Um,
your service.
Thanks. So I have been in the Space Force now for 3 years. Prior to that, I was in the Air Force for 10 years. And I enlisted in the Air Force right out of high school. So I was 18. And then I had a couple different jobs in the Air Force, which were awesome. And then the Air Force paid for college, paid for my associates, bachelor's, and master's. And then I was lucky enough to be able to commission, meaning I became an officer. And so I went to officer training school, and then I became an acquisitions manager. And pretty much that's where I am today.
So that was a big word, acquisitions. And correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that when you like put things together and like run a program? Is that the right word?
Exactly.
Okay, okay, cool. I just want to, help some of the young kids don't have to go Google acquisitions. What the heck does that mean?
Yeah, true,
It's a,
true. Thank you.
it's a big word. So, um, so what is your favorite satellite space story? Do you have a space story you could tell us?
Well, there's a series of 8 communication satellites that were launched by the US in the late 1970s into the late 1980s. And the last one was launched in 1989, and it's called FleetSat 8. So it's still operational today. It's controlled by the Space Force. But the amazing thing to me is that it had an anticipated lifespan of 12 to 15 years, but now it's almost 35 years old and it's still
Wow.
being utilized by the military.
Yeah, I know for me in my satellite understanding, um, when they're building them, they have to build them for many, many years. And many,
Hmm.
many years change, and so does the technology. So what they
Absolutely.
think is like going to last forever, or what their intentions are, sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. So it's
Yeah.
fascinating to me that when you're designing satellites now, that, oh, by the way, how long's it got to be up there? That's one of the questions, like it's going to be up there for a really
Right.
long time. So we have to design it appropriately and make sure, hey, it's going 10,000 miles an hour. There's other radiation factors, there's other things we have to think about. So it's just simply fascinating to me how that works. So another
I agree.
question, what is the
Okay.
future of AI and ML and space security, do you think?
Yeah, I think there are probably almost endless opportunities for AI and machine learning and space security. AI can reduce the burden that our space operators face every day because it can learn patterns to predict trends and anomalies, and then it can suggest solutions potentially long before humans may even realize that there's an issue. So AI can increase our mission resilience in the long term, and I think it will allow us to need fewer people probably to accomplish bigger missions. And then of course there are some really cool classified initiatives to utilize AI on satellites as well. And then in the realm of cybersecurity, we can use AI to help us differentiate between normal operations versus what things would look like in a cyber attack too. So many possibilities for the future of AI and space security.
That's awesome. So for me, um, I use now Google and Chat GPT open all the time, and I'm
Yes.
using that to use it as a springboard. If I don't understand something, I, double check to make sure, because sometimes AI is not correct. And
Right.
can be false information. So I'm just saying that out there. But it's been a
Mhm.
great tool to help me learn and guide me in some specific things. Or I can throw some code up there and say, hey, I'm looking at this, particular payload. I think there's an error in this. What do you think? And you can ask it.
Uh-huh.
So I definitely think that AI and ML in the future is just going to continue to help us, not as a hinder. And I think it's a really positive thing that can come out of all that. So in closing, is there anything else you'd like to say today, Sarah, to the young people playing Space Grand Challenge?
No, thank you guys so much. I encourage you to pursue your dreams. And if you're interested in space, that's awesome. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today. And I really appreciate it, and have a good time playing Space Grand Challenge. And thank you so much for your quick service and time today with the young people. So
Thank
thank you very
you.
much.